Good evening and welcome to Global TV's News Prime, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. Senator representing Zamfara West, Abdulaziz Yari, says some parts of Zamfara state recorded progress recently in the fight against insecurity as a result of intervention by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu through the Office of the National Security Advisor. Senator Yari, who was on his first official visit to President Tinubu since he assumed office at the State House Abuja, added that President Tinubu is working closely with the security chiefs to further address the security challenges in the Northwest and across the country. We'll bring you more details on this very soon. Also, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with the members of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs behind closed doors at the residential villa Abuja. Members of the NSCIA were led to the meeting by the Sultan of Sokoto Alhaji Zahad Abubakar. Speaking to State House correspondent, Minister for Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris, who disclosed issues discussed at the meeting, said the President Tinubu urged the Islamic scholars to be at the forefront of fostering national unity and societal integration.
Well, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs decided it fit to pay a solidarity visit to Mr. President. They came to offer him some advice on the happenings in the country. They've also solicited for his cooperation and to ensure that the unity of Nigeria continues to be maintained. Mr. President, on his own part, has thanked them. He has accepted all the words of advice they've offered him.
The news, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says he is communicating with world leaders on issues related to crisis in Niger Republic and the unfolding situation in Gabon, while watching closely with deep concern for the country's socio-political stability and at the same autocratic contention apparently spreading across different regions of the African continent. Special Advisor on Media and Publicity Andrew Ngalale reiterated the president's commitment in defining democracy, saying power belongs to the hand of African great people and not in the barrel of a loaded gun. Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has applauded Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, for an intervention in empowering women and other vulnerable groups in the society through his Renewed Hope initiative. Kikelomo Okere reports that the governor stated this after paying a courtesy visit to the First Lady at the State House in Abuja.
The intervention of the initiative in the education sector were a national scholarship program which was recently flagged off in Abuja with 43 beneficiaries across the nation, women ICT training and other empowerment programs in the agriculture and social investment. The governor notes that this will complement similar policies objective of Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, as well as serve to reassure Nigerians.
On the Renewed Hope initiative, which we've all heard about, which is championing with a lot of the other first ladies and of course the wife of the vice president, really just to encourage and to share the vision that she has for the Renewed Hope initiative, and just to talk me through, I mean, what kind of interventions they're looking at and how she's running a complementary role to what Mr. President is also doing, and I think it's great. You know, our own idea is not necessarily to begin to build brick and mortar, is really to be able to intervene, you know, in schools, you know, for people needing scholarship, in farming, you know, people needing implements, you know, seedlings, and also to be able to provide immediate succor, you know, for families and for people that that are vulnerable in the society, that the initiative can indeed target it, and I think it's beautiful.
The ongoing reform by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Governor Sanwo-Olu says, taking the country to a level where every Nigerian can be comfortable requires hard decision and systematic effort by the government, as well as a lot of patience on the part of the citizens. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
Thank you very much, Kikelami, for that report. The Armed Forces of Nigeria says the ongoing counterinsurgency and counterterrorism operations across the country remain critical to the armed forces. Efforts to achieve peace and ensure that violent extremist groups do not find safe haven in the country. Director of Defense Media Operations Major General Edward Buba made this known while briefing journalists on the operation activities of the Nigerian military in the last 2 weeks. It stated that the focus of the military is to conduct its operations in support of national security interests, adding that the armed forces will continue to work with supportive groups to defeat any entity undermining security and safety in the country. Kikelomo Okere brings us more details.
Major General Buba noted that during the week leading to 31st of August 2023, the military neutralized 39 terrorists and arrested 157, stating that troops also rescued 109 kidnapped hostages. He also noted that the troops of Operation Safe Haven conducted raids and recovered arms in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. The operation resulted in neutralized terrorists, arrested of notorious armed robbers, and rescue of kidnapped hostages in Jema local government area of Kaduna State.
Arrested 33 of them, rescued 40 kidnapped hostages, among others. More on the northwest, where we have Operation Wild Punch. Troops of Operation Wild Punch in the fight against terrorists rescued kidnapped hostages at Chikum and Binningwari local government areas of Kaduna State. Troops' offensive actions resulted in the arrest of suspected terrorists and the recovery of arms and ammunition.
Troops of Operation Delta Safe sustained the momentum against the activities of crude oil theft. Troops destroyed several illegal refining sites and recovered stolen products. Troops also intercepted and destroyed vehicles loaded with illegal refined products in Ugeli and Elema local government area of Delta State and Rivers State, respectively. However, troops arrested 16 perpetrators of oil theft and denied them of the sum of 765,863,000 naira.
On the 21st of August, Air Component conducted air interdiction over active illegal refining sites at ABC and Idama. The targets were engaged, destroying equipment and reservoirs used by the crude oil thieves. Additionally, the air component destroyed a boat fully loaded with illegal refined products sighted within the general area.
The military high command says it will continue to pursue aggressive military operations against violent extremist groups seeking to undermine the security of the country and conduct violence against the people. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News, Abuja.
Well, thank you, Kikelomo Okere. The Nigerian Army has called on the Civilian Joint Task Force to avoid extrajudicial killings and respect human rights while carrying out its responsibilities of protecting their communities against the bandits in Zamfara State. Commander 1 Brigade of the Nigerian Army Gusau, Brigadier General Sani Ahmed, made the call during a donation of 100 sets of Balfang communication radios as part of the Army's corporate social responsibility to the host communities and enhance the operational capacity of the Civilian Joint Task Force, CGTF, in the state towards restoring peace and security. Sandra Akba has the details.
Commander 1 Brigade of the Nigerian Army Gusau, Brigadier General Sani Ahmed, explained that the donation of 100 sets of communication radios to members is to improve civil-military cooperation and to aid the Civilian Joint Task Force in carrying out their responsibilities in securing lives and properties in their various communities effectively against the bandits. The brigade commander also charged them to adequately share credible information among the vigilantes and improve alertness in their communities.
Recently, we've given some of the communities motorcycles to aid their mobility while discharging their tasks. And it was brought to the fore the need for them to have a better means of communication in areas where the GSM coverage is lacking or none at all. In that regard, the command, Sector 1, Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarin Daji, decided to support further the civilian JTF by provision of radios, which you call walkie-talkies. These radios were configured, the channel streamlined for use by the civilian JTF, and it is well configured in a way that it will not be interfered with.
The chairman, Civilian Joint Task Force, Ahmed Mohammed, applauds the Commander 1 Brigade for his noble gestures, assuring that the Bofeng communication radios would greatly enhance their operational activities in the state. He further assured that they will operate according to the laid-down rules and regulations as well as respect human rights. Sandra Akpa for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sandra Akpa, for that report. It's still the News Prime on Global Television. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo has taken a resolute stance to eradicate all obstacles impeding the smooth processing of international passports by the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS. Tunji-Ojo conveyed the approach during his inaugural visit to the NIS headquarters in Abuja on Wednesday. He declared that the extensive delays endured by Nigerians while awaiting passport insurance are no longer tolerable. Acquiring a passport is a fundamental right, not a privilege, he emphasized. This is the time to feel the pains of Nigeria and through their action show that they care. The minister asserted that a dedicated team was being set up, comprising NIS officials and Minister of Interior representatives to critically examine and recommend strategies that would dismantle the barriers that have hindered efficient processing. You're watching the News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are in StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using @Global TV and G and other handles now showing on your TV screen. We'll be back with more stories for you after this short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's still Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Prime from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. At least 3 people have been killed as Hurricane Indela slammed into the Florida coastline on Wednesday morning, showing a path of destruction as it tore northward into Georgia and South Carolina. The Florida Highway Patrol described the 2 of the deaths as separate rain-related incidents. In one case, a 59-year-old man appears to have lost control of his truck during extreme raining conditions in Janesville, Florida, crashing into a ditch and then a line of trees. The second incident occurred in Pasco County. A 40-year-old man that was driving too fast for a condition and struck a tree, the Highway Patrol said. Also, the National Identity Management Commission has only been able to meet 47.6% of the federal government's monthly target of 2.5 million registration in the first 8 months of the year. According to the findings, this is as the number of Nigeria with national identification number increased to 102 2.39 million in August, despite a slowdown in the number of enrollment. According to the NIMC, data obtained and analyzed, enrollment has fallen by 35.14% year-on-year in the first 8 months of the year, as only 8.36 million as of August 28, 2023. People have enrolled for NIN so far this year from the 12.89 million people that had enrolled as far as July 7, 2022. NIN enrollment per month on average is 1.19 million per month in the first 8 months of 2023. The data indicated that the country is falling short of its 2.5 million national identification number enrollment target per month, as it is the National Development Plan 2021 to 2025. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Mosimi Depot on Wednesday has threatened to drag the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, to court over its refusal to supply its members petroleum product 8 months after payment of the product. The association said it was left with no other option than to drag the corporation to court by September next month should NNPC continue to deny its members suppliers of the petroleum product earlier paid for through the Lagos DPO between November 2022 and January 2023, when they were due full supplies. Speaking with journalists in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, IPMAN Mosimi Depot chairman Otumba Femi Adelaja said it was disheartening on the part of the management of NNPC Mosimi Depot to exhibit the threat of a fraudulent organization by deliberately refusing to supply available its members, whose businesses have been surviving on back loans. Adelaja also called on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, as well as other relevant anti-graft agencies to quickly wade into the matter before NNPC would succeed at chasing its members out of business. The ambassadors from the Chinese, Indian, Mexican and Indonesian government have said that they will continue to depend investment in the Nigerian economy. The envoy spoke at the International Business Conference and Expo 2023 organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry with the team Invest Nigeria. In his remark, the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Jian Chun, said the Chinese government would deepen its ties with Nigeria through sustainable investment. He noted that many Chinese companies, such as Huawei, has already begun to consolidate their presence in Nigeria through strategic investment. India's ambassador to Nigeria, Shri Balasubramania, said that in the past 4 decades, India had made investment spending across the pharmaceutical, food and manufacturing sector to the tune of $19 billion. And now more than 70 people have died and more than 50 have been injured after a fire in central Johannesburg. Authorities said it's unclear what sparked the blaze at the 5-story building. Emergency services said the fire gutted the building and the sitting center at around 1:30. Authorities say firefighters evacuated the building's occupants on arrival, and the search and recovery of bodies is continuing. Reports suggest the occupants of the building were mostly African migrants. Also, at least 5 people have died after a train hit railway workers at a high-speed close station in Italy. The workers, aged between 22 and 52, were replacing part of a truck outside the northern city of Turin, where they were killed. They had been working on the line between Turin and Milan when the empty passenger train went through Bradiso station at the reported 160 kilometer. 2 workers survived scattered, but were taken to hospital for observation. The train driver was treated at the scene for shock, but later sent home. He is expected to be questioned later about the incident in a statement. Italian Railway Network, RFI, expressed its deep sorrow for the incident. It also sent its deep condolences to the families of those who died. The mayor of Bradiso, a small town to the northeast of Turin, said it would wait until the outcome of the inquiry, but a communication error could not be ruled out. Ahead of the next international break, some football fans are clamoring for the invitation of strikers Chuba Akpom. Syria Desert, Gift Urban, and others for the Dead Rubber 2024 African Cup of Nations clash between Nigeria and Sao Tome and Principe on September 10. The Super Eagles have already qualified for the Continental Showpiece event after a dramatic 3-2 win over Sierra Leone in the Group A clash at the Samuel Canyon Dos Sports Complex, Monrovia, Liberia in June, with a game to spare after finishing second in the group. Guinea-Bissau are also through to the AFCON, while Sierra Leone and Sao Tome are eliminated for the tournament. Sharon Ajay has more updates on sport for us.
A bid to sign Super Eagles striker Kelechi Iheanacho by Crystal Palace from Leicester City is being threatened by the price tag on the player by his club. Crystal Palace is working on a deal and pushing to sign the 26-year-old and are willing to pay the price range between 10 to 15 million euros. Leicester City wants 18 million euro for the striker and negotiations are stalling. The striker has 56 goals in 210 appearances in all competitions in his 7 seasons at the club since joining from City for 25 million euro in 2017. According to reports, Iheanacho is keen on the move. Elsewhere, Minister of Sports Development John Enoh has expressed his displeasure at the sensational reportage of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, yesterday. Enoh has appealed to SWAN members to report him objectively, saying he appreciates the efforts of the association and assured he will not deliberately do anything wrong in the course of discharging his duty. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
More Sharon Ajay, and that's it on Global TV's News Prime, live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you again.